Okay. Not sure what I want to talk about. I have a good idea. Just dealing with the people in this area. The the area I live in is very um, it's a town full of what I would consider fundamental Christians, Orthodox Christians, quote unquote God-fearing people. But what I experience day after day. I work in customer service for the past 11 years at the same place, which is basically smack dab in the middle of the city. And it's not a very big city, but it's a city nevertheless. It's not like a Chicago or whatever. Well, I live in a red state, I live in Louisiana. It's a very conservative area, very Christian. At least people who claim they're Christians. And the reason I say that is because what I experience with working in retail for so long in this area is that people don't necessarily act like Christians. They're very, very self-centered, very selfish, very moody, very bitchy, impulsive, selfish. I think I said selfish already, but I'm going to say it again. Oh no, poor kitty. It's a dead cat. It looked like a cat. It looked like a cat my mother-in-law has. Anyway, self-centered, greedy. There's another word in there I'm looking for, but I can't seem to find it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Either way, everything you would think a Christian wouldn't be, and I think it speaks a lot to that mentality around here. Almost I deserve this, gimme, gimme, gimme kind of mentality of the people around here. Not everybody, right? When you work in retail, you're gonna deal with a lot of people, and every now and then, the people that you remember the most are gonna be the ones, the biggest assholes, right? Like, otherwise you wouldn't remember them. Just a plain old. And there's a lot of good. I want to say good. No man's good. No woman is good. But I would consider decent people. They come in, they buy their shit, and they leave. And they're generally nice individuals, courteous and kind. And I don't know their religious affiliation, right? And the people, the nasty people who come in, I don't know their religious affiliation either. So, but I'm speaking generally about the entire area because in this area there's a bit of a meth problem, and I deal with a lot of people on meth, and it's very obvious when they walk through the door because they just suck up they just suck up the energy, they suck up the attention, what I would call energy vampires, because they're just very like I said, self-centered, very selfish, completely NPC, right? And they're on drugs. You can tell they're on drugs. They got scabs all over their face. They're very impulsive. They have a lot of money for some reason, and they buy junk. And it's not my business what you buy with your money, but it's just a pattern of, it's just an observational pattern. I'm using my senses, right? It's not necessarily judgment. And I want to make a disclaimer that this is not judgment. This is discernment, because I need my senses to defend myself, my eyes to see and my ears to hear. And what I notice about these individuals is that more than likely, I don't want to say 99%, but maybe 70% of them were probably raised Christian, either Baptist or some other denomination. Nevertheless, they consider themselves Christians. They go to church every Sunday. They pay their tithes or whatever it's called, and they think they're doing good. But as soon as they walk out of that church, they're on meth, and they impulse buy. They bring their kids in there at 3 a.m. for some fucking reason. But I'm a father, so it's like I wouldn't drag my kid out at 3 a.m. This is besides the point. It speaks to the area, and I don't know what these churches actually teach. I need to start going to church just so I can kind of witness this, because whatever these preacher woman, Lord forbid, are teaching their congregation, it's not helping. Because these are generational problems to me. When somebody's on meth and impulse buying and bringing their children into a damn store at 3 a.m., something's rotten. It's boiled down to something a little more surface level than these problems, because these problems aren't the sin, and these jackasses that come in here that claim they're Christians, not that they do, right? I'm making a generalization, all right? They claim they're Christian. Let's say, for instance, they claim they're Christian, but they got all these problems, and everybody has problems. I get that, but the problems, they think the sin is these little problems they have, which isn't the problem. It's the rottenness of it. It's the roots. It's the parents, their grandparents. It goes back generation after generation. You can trace it back all the way to Adam and Eve, right? For instance, let's play a game for any non-Christians listening. You can trace it back and back and back and back to the rottenness. The roots are rotten, right? Because you can have a forest. I forget what forest it is. There's a really cool story about a forest, I think in the Midwest, that basically refused to die because its roots were so strong. It got taken over by some kind of fungus. I believe it was the oak forest. But the roots were so strong and so grounded that the forest they basically didn't go extinct. This fungus couldn't take them out. That's a real, to me, that would be a real human being or a real family tree that can't be taken out by the petty materialism and drug use and whatnot. And it's just so obvious to me that the people I see are just like little children, and I'm not saying this to be condescending. I'm saying I can still see the scared little boy or the scared little girl in their eyes, no matter what facade they put on. Like, I had a guy who was basically barking at me and my cashier about some stupid headphones that weren't working, and I was just gonna let him exchange them without a receipt so he can get on with his day, right? And he, even after me telling him this, that it's not a big deal, like, I had to tell him to calm down because he was just kind of barking at us. And the thing is, I wasn't affected by it. It's like looking at a dog with no teeth, like a little chihuahua with no teeth. And he was this, I'm only 5'6", I'm a manlet, right? So it's like, this dude's like 6'2", I could probably take him out if I really had to, but it's like, I wasn't intimidated, like, at all, because it was just like a little dog barking, trying to get his way with mama. And that's all I saw him as, and because of that, it's like I couldn't be intimidated. In the end, he got his way, but in the end, I got my way because I didn't really give a damn. I know how our return system works and our policies, so it's like I just went by the book, and the books tell me that I can do it this way, so I did it that way, and he can go on his way, and we keep a customer. Everybody wins. But he was still kind of barking nonsense at us, like, especially my cashier, because she's a little Mexican lady who people try to intimidate all the time, and she's aware of this. Anyway, that's enough rambling for me. Thanks, guys.